What's going on, good people, and welcome back to another JayNAS Podcast. Right here with you today, you are going to get all up to date on the latest PC gaming, console, retro, and Nintendo news. And as always, I'm joined with me, good buddy Jason616, our local retro and Nintendo expert, mate. It's good to have you on board again, buddy.
Yeah, dude, happy to be here.
Yeah, man, we got some pretty good stuff to talk about again, and some good old honourable mentions and all that sort of stuff, mate. Mate, what titles, what juicy goss have you got for us tonight, mate?
All right, I'm glad to talk about this one and get it over and done with. The Mega Drive Mini, we got all games announced. So I said last week the last announcement comes in June. It's here, so I can finally stop talking about it. Also, there's another game being released on the Switch. It's a brand new game, and it actually has been taken from a movie. I'm going to talk about as well. Not sure how I feel about it, but we'll get into that. Also, I've got some E3 news from the way of Nintendo.
Well, that'll be intriguing.
Yes. It's something has been leaked, and it's some announcements that they may have coming on the Switch. So I'll talk a bit about that later, which ties into something else to do with Banjo Kazooie, which I'll be talking about, and obviously today in gaming as well. So that's on my list. A few things coming out the way of Nintendo this week. So yeah, it's good to actually have something to talk about E3 for once.
Excellent, mate. Well, look, as usual, I mean, I've got some stuff to talk about E3 as well, a little bit more updates and some more sort of exclusive stuff that's going on behind the scenes, just little bits and pieces, nothing major, but just to give people a bit more of an idea about E3. And of course, leading up to E3, our last three podcasts, I've been talking about E3. Don't forget to check those out as well, guys, if you want some more info on that I've managed to gather on E3 as well, and sort of piece it all, puzzle up together.
We have covered a lot about E3, and
yeah, man.
I mean,
it's like Christmas for gamers, but
it is.
But Christmas time is like Christmas for gamers because they get games for Christmas.
And at the same time, you got the Steam Summer Sale coming on as well. So, and at the same time, PlayStation Network's doing a massive reduced one as well on games coming up. So, PlayStation fans get it. Yeah. They're waiting in the wings too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, of course, as gamers, we're all excited about E3. It's the most anticipated, most exciting, most kick-ass date on the calendar each year, and we all stay up all night here in Australia because it's on that really, really awkward, crappy times. So,
I know.
So we all
get your energy drinks
and all that sort of stuff.
Get your energy drinks or your coffee or
get it all ready to go. Have all six of them lined up like shots and get yourself wankered just to watch E3. So more buggered. E3 content. Get smashed. I'm going to cover a bit on Blizzard's cancellation of a game in development that they've been developing for about 2 years, which is kind of sad. Very. If more sad news, something a bit on Naughty Dog and their online service. And the latest from Todd Howard, he's come out and had a bit of a chat about some of the updates, with, of course, the whole, stuff going on with Fallout 76, which I'm not going to cover tonight, but I decided to cover something to do with Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. So that, along with a really good honourable mentions that I found 3 really good ones. I usually do 2, but 3 tonight. And, of course, my usual, do you feel old yet? So, of course, buddy, as usual, are you ready to get into it?
Dude, ready to kickstart this motherfucker.
Let's go. All right, buddy, let's do it. So, guys, get those earlobes turned on, pull the ripcord. Your ears are about to bleed because you're about to get updated in the latest PC, console gaming, and retro and Nintendo news. It's something like that anyway. So
I love it.
Let's do it.
When you're meant to say turn your eardrums on, not your earlobes. Turn your earlobes on.
So use your earlobes to turn your drums on and pull the skins apart. I don't know, something like that, just because they're gonna bleed. So, yeah. But yeah. So, all right. So, my first topic, as I mentioned before, I'm just going to quickly bring it up on my screen. So, Of course, the latest, Blizzard cancels a game in development they've been developing for 2 years. So it appears Blizzard Entertainment has cancelled a project that was in development for the last 2 years. Game developer David Gibson, who was a senior animator on Overwatch, started working on a mysterious unannounced Blizzard project in July 2017. According to his LinkedIn page, he worked on this game for about 2 years before announcing his departure from Blizzard this week. Very sad, but whatever this project was, it's reportedly no longer happening. Unfortunately, you'll never see what we made over the past 2 years. That's game development, he said on Twitter. So, game development is a highly iterative, fluid process. It is not uncommon for projects to get cancelled midway through development for a variety of reasons. Gibson didn't offer any specifications on what or why or how what this project was, seemingly axed, or if his departure from Blizzard is related. So, of course, we're not going to know what it is. I can't really see any sort of rumours of what it would have been. I mean, what would really Blizzard really sort of, they've only had like stuff to do with, Activision stuff in regarding, Call of Duty, Destiny and all that sort of stuff. So who knows what they would have had. No one's really speculating anything. It's a bit sad to see what could have been a potential, game changer game go under, because, I don't know, people, it just happens. I mean, no matter what company you work for, no matter what field you're in, people, too many fingers in the pie, it's going to break. A lot of people say, there's an old saying, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. It's just as simple as that, and they say, look, it's just game development. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit sad, but I would like for them to release some details, exactly what they had going, and all that sort of stuff. But who knows why this would have stopped? Maybe, who knows, they just couldn't get enough people experienced enough to work with the gaming engine to develop the game the way they wanted to go. Maybe they didn't have room for microtransactions. Maybe they thought it was just going to be a complete flop. So, and maybe he was the only one that believed in it. So, who knows? But it's a bit sad to see a potentially awesome game getting cancelled out. And it's people walking out on gaming development and all that sort of stuff. So. Yeah, like it says, it will never see the light of day, and we'll never know what it is or what it was. But all I know is that places like Blizzard, who have lost like 30% of their stocks, which is like millions of dollars, they're not in good. They're not in good shape. And for that to happen, and people are getting smarter. They are getting smarter. People, whether you like it or not, consumers are getting smarter with their money. They know that their voices can and will be heard at some stage and all that sort of stuff. And if you the old saying, on what we hear all the time on the Quartering, big fan of his channel, Quartering. If he's listening, g'day mate, which he wouldn't be listening, so forget it. Get woke, go broke. So all these little indie companies that try and stay within the guidelines of keeping bisexuals and gay people happy, and try and keep 12-year-olds happy and try and keep the mature age audiences happy. They try and do too much at once, and they try and stay political left or whatever. They end up getting shat on because it's, gamers at the end of the day, true gamers, they don't really care what's in the game. They just want it to be good. So I remember like the whole Battlefield 5 thing. People were whinging that there was a female in the game. And of course EA has come out and gone, you're having a sook. You 12-year-olds that live in your mum's basements are having a sook that there's a female main in the game. Get over it, grow up. And people are like, no, we're not complaining that there's a female in the game. We're complaining that it's not historically accurate. No females were in World War II in the front lines in battle. Because Battlefield was renowned for being quite historically accurate along the lines, in some parts. So they try and keep, real weapons, real vehicles that were used in World War One, World War Two, modern warfare and all this sort of stuff. Blah blah blah. They try to say as accurate as possible, but yet they'll throw a female in, and people going, look, you shouldn't really throw a female in there because there were no females around World War Two, not in front lines and all that sort of stuff anyway. And EA's come out and gone, well, if you don't like it, don't buy the game. And what do people do? They didn't buy the game. So, funny that. But yeah, man, that's my topic 1 done and dusted, buddy. What have you got for us, mate?
Well, all right, I'm going to clear it up first of all. Let's get the Mega Drive Mini out of the way so we can stop talking about it. Not that I'm hating on it. I'm excited for it, but I feel like I cover it every week. So now I'm glad to tick it off the list of things I don't need to cover anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go through the whole games list here. We do have some region exclusive games that parts of the other world don't have.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that some of these games are region exclusive, man, because they're classics. So okay, so we'll start from the top. All right, Alex Kidd in Enchanted Castle, region exclusive.
Right.
Alex Kidd is region exclusive. In Japan, you don't get it.
Right.
Alright, Altered Beast, region exclusive. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, region exclusive. Earthworm Jim, region exclusive.
To what region?
Us. So, Echo the Dolphin, region exclusive to us as well. Eternal Champions, exclusive. Kid Chameleon, exclusive. Light Crusader, exclusive. Shinobi 3, exclusive. Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball, exclusive. Toe Jam and Earl, exclusive to us. Vector Man, exclusive to us. And Virtua Fighter 2, exclusive to us.
Right.
So there's a lot of good games in there that the rest of the world ain't getting.
But what are they going to get that we're not?
Nothing I've ever heard of. Okay, so they're going to get Dino Brothers 2, Lord Monarch, Madhu Mongarati 1, Rent a Hero, The Hybrid Front, Yu Yu Hasaku Maku, whatever that is.
Oh, bless you.
Yep, couldn't even read that even if I wanted to.
Just add a bit of chili with that, mate. You'll be able to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's theirs. I've never heard of them.
So I was on Facebook the other day, and some guy, what was the post? I don't know. It was just some random post. It was just a meme post, and some guy with like a really long Arabic name. You know, one where you sneeze and you pronounce his name. Just some Arabaka Baka Muhammad or something like that. I don't know. Something like that was this guy's name. This guy was complaining about, what is this shit? What is that crap? Blah, blah, blah. Is this necessary? Blah, blah, blah. And this guy's replied to him. He goes, yeah, mate, fuck you. It is necessary. And by the way, what is with your shitty name? I just said it out loud and my furniture started floating.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
God.
I thought that was great.
That's great. Awesome. All right, I'll keep going with this list. We'll get there. All right?
Yes, all right.
Continue. So, Alicia Dragon, don't know. Beyond Oasis, The Story of Thor. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Castlevania Bloodlines. Comic Zone. Columns. Contra, Hard Corps. Darius. Dynamite Heady. Ghouls and Ghosts. Golden Axe. Gunstar Heroes. Landstalker. Mega Man The Wily Wars. Monster World 4. Phantasy Star 4, Road Rash. There it is. Road Rash is great, so I'm glad that's made it. Shining Force, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, Space Harrier 2, Street Fighter 2, The Champions Edition, Streets of Rage 2, Strider, Super Fantasy Zone, a ridiculously rare version of Tetris, Thunder Force 3, Wonder Boy Monster World, and World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. So that's the full list of games. Not bad.
Very intriguing.
They've got a ton of good games in there. You know, I'm glad Road Rash was announced. I mean, that was the last one. You know, that was the last 10 games that one was announced. But Road Rash is a classic one of mine. That I love Road Rash. Have you ever played Road Rash?
Yeah, man. When I was a kid, played it. I thought it was great. Great game.
Yeah, good fun. I've still got the cartridge of Road Rash sitting here. I don't actually have many Sega cartridges, but Road Rash is one of them I did get. I've got it in its box and everything. I was a big Road Rash fan, so that was good. So, yeah, that is my Mega Drive Mini. All the games that we're getting exclusive to us. I could read out the other areas and all that, but, I mean, we don't really need all of Japan's and all of elsewhere's, I don't think so.
No, I mean, people will be able to do their own. Sorry, excuse me. I've just decided to have a bit of a yawn mid-podcast. People can do their own research and sort of figure it out to tell their cousin chutney in Arabic Arabia or whatever. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. No dramas at all.
Nah. Yeah, we'll be all good. They can figure it out, I'm sure.
Definitely.
All right, cool. Well, that's me cleaning my hands off with the Sega Mega Drive Mini. Just expect to get it in September for $80. There you go.
Yeah.
It's done with. I got there. Yeah.
Very nice. Excellent. All right, man. Shall I continue with my second topic?
Yeah, man. Off you go.
Alrighty, cool. So as I mentioned before, Naughty Dog, the developers of the Uncharted series and, of course, the famous, one of my favourite games of all time, The Last of Us, they are set to turn off their online servers. So the multiplayer servers are going to go offline. So Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3 and The Last of Us for the PS3 servers are going to go off forever. Goodbye is what they pretty much have quoted. So the online multiplayer services for Naughty Dog's PlayStation 3 games are going offline forever. The developer has announced that the servers for Uncharted 2, 3, Last of Us, Left Behind will go offline on Tuesday, September 3rd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I believe. So still a few mints. I love mints, but a few months.
Good mints tonight.
You know, yeah. So
nachos, man, homemade nachos.
Yes, definitely. So Tuesday, September 3, so a few months away. It's bittersweet to say the least. Uncharted and The Last of Us multiplayer on the PS3 are defining entries in Naughty Dog's history, and we've been honoured to support the passionate communities that have grown around them for almost a decade. True. We have so many fond memories from playing alongside you throughout the years. Naughty Dog Scott Lowe, or Lowy, I don't know how you want to pronounce his name, said in a blog post. So, yes, very sad news that they've decided to turn off, the online service of those games. Of course, they are old, and it's from an old, past generation system, and it's just inevitable that all online servers come to an end. But of course, naturally, my favourite gaming series, is of course, Uncharted along with Elder Scrolls. But of course, Last of Us was great, and I had a lot of great memories with that as well. Playing that on PlayStation 3 and the remastered version on PlayStation 4. It was great playing online. It's still I think we'll talk about it last week or the week before.
Yeah.
The online for The Last of Us was just so unique in itself. It's just like no other. It's just great. It's hard to explain, but you just sort of have to sort of play it for yourself or just to sort of see. But like I said, it's nothing. It's not really like groundbreaking news. But like I said, it just shows that how far we have come in gaming. That Last of Us was released in 2012. And of course, Uncharted 2 and 3 released. Uncharted 2 was just before Last of Us. Uncharted 3 was just after. Was it? No, Uncharted 3 was before Last of Us.
Before, yeah, I believe it was before.
So, it was. Great games. Obviously, you can still play the single player and all that sort of stuff. It's just a multiplayer server and all that sort of stuff. So. But yeah, man, almost a decade, 2012 was Last of Us. Uncharted, I think, was, it must have been 2010, 2011, of course, Uncharted 2, 2009 or whatever. So, yeah, man, great game. Sorry to see it, but, it's got good things have to all come to an end.
Yes, but until the next one comes out, and they'll do a multiplayer for that one, and it will go for another 7 years. So exactly. You look at it that way. It may be going, the server may be going, but of course they're going to close that one down to make sure people get the new one and then do it all over again, man. But why wouldn't you? It's a damn good game. And I don't know if I've read that they've done multiplayer for Last of Us 2. But I'm sure they will.
Oh, mate, with the success of the first Last of Us, they have to. They might not bring it in straight away.
But there's some games like that as well, because there's some franchises that were known for multiplayer, and then when they took it out, I mean, like we were saying a week or two ago, that GoldenEye was never meant to be a multiplayer game, and they only put that in the last month before its release. It's hard to imagine what that would be like without a multiplayer. It would just be weird. So same would go for Last of Us, although it's really known for its story because it's so epic. You couldn't sweep multiplayer under the rug with it. You just couldn't.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. And that's the other thing as well, mate, is that, you're right. I mean, they will turn off service for the new service to come in and all that sort of stuff. But, I mean, to say, they will most 110% have multiplayer for Last of Us 2, that's for sure. It might not be in there straight away, but they most certainly will, simply because of the success of the first one. And I think there'll be a massive, exciting aspect that a lot of gamers will be anticipating on the release of it as well. Not just the single player, but they'll be really keen on the multiplayer. As well. So, yeah, man. And Naughty Dog is definitely, a company, a gaming developed company that you can put 100% of your faith behind as well, because these guys know what they're fucking doing. They do. Man, that's topic number 2 done for me, done and dusted. What else have you got for us, buddy?
All right. So, this November, a movie has been transformed into a video game, and it's coming out for the Switch. All I'm going to say is one word: Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this one. Because it's not based off the original Jumanji. It's based off the modern Jumanji.
Yes, I heard about that. I saw, I saw the characters, Jack Black's character and Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character and all that sort of stuff. They're all in there. So,
yeah, look, I think the idea can definitely transform into a video game. Other than they'll need to do a lot more to it than what was in said movie. I mean, the movie was good for what it was, but it's not as good as the original Jumanji, and I think anyone could say that. But yeah, it's offering, couch split screen or online multiplayer or 4-player. It's the same. You've got to get the precious jewels of Jumanji to save the world and then find the way home again, like the movie does. But I feel if they just take the movie concept, the new movie concept, and they transform it to video game, there is so much that I reckon I don't know how they're going to do more and put it in this game. Because there wasn't too many things the movie actually showed on screen. It was mainly more the dialogue between The Rock and Kevin Hart that kept this movie alive. But I don't exactly know how they're going to fill this game with enough shit to really make it good. Because, I mean, the first Jumanji, it's kind of cool because they obviously picked up the controller and went into a video game world, and here now we have a video game world, so it's kind of funny how that worked out, but I don't know how they're going to fill this. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to have enough. I mean, I've got some screenshots as well, and you know what? The game in itself looks damn pretty. The sprites look damn cool, the graphics look damn cool, but they said they've got some exciting features and reveals coming soon, and it's coming from Namco. Namco do, they do good stuff. I will say they do good stuff, but
they know what they're doing. They've been around for a while. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. I'm nervous for this one though, and looking at the screenshots, who wouldn't want to play as The Rock kicking ass again? It's been a while since we've had The Rock in a video game.
Yeah.
But
yeah, good point.
But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, did you see the new movie, the Jumanji movie?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I mean, it's not bad. The fact that Jack Black talks like a woman because he is a woman just in a man's body. But it's, if you were to see it, you would know what I mean by I don't know how they're going to have filler. Is it the right thing to do? Should they have used the old Jumanji story, or is it just a money grab? As much as I hate to say it, is it a money grab? Because anything The Rock touches turns to fucking gold anyway, Dwayne Johnson. So is it a money grab? I don't know, but either way, I'm a bit torn about this one. I was excited at first when I saw Jumanji coming, then I realised it was the new one. I thought, oh, hang on. Yeah. So...
Yeah, it'd be very interesting just to see, I mean, speculation-wise, I mean... You obviously would be a character. I mean, is it like an open world or linear game? You just choose a character and you just try and go through obstacles or something like that, or are you a legit player and you play the board game, and then what it says, you end up going into the board game, and then you got to play the game in the game to get out of the game, or something like that, while your other mates are still playing the board game.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Well, from the look of the screenshots, I mean, it looks like it's a bit open worldish, but follows some kind of format. Maybe you have like a compass or something to show you where you need to go to, because in the movie each person has 3 lives, and if they lose them all, they die, and they're stuck in the game like you would be if you had enough lives in a video game. That's the general concept. It's online on a split screen with 4 people. They said, you can choose who you want to be, and each person has unique abilities that and you got to use each other to keep each other alive. Like, so, or you might have an ability that might be you're brave and you're fearless, but someone else carries the weapons of the pack, so you might need one of them to get you through to the next obstacle, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know, maybe if you're doing it, even if you're doing it one player, maybe you just switch between characters when you get up to that part of the story. I don't know. But either
100% online, and you can only play it with 3 other people.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it will be like, when Friday 13th game first came out, it was only playable online. This one does say split screen for at home, which is cool. You can play with your friends in your house, but I feel like this isn't a game that you could play by yourself, and you'd probably have to take it online. Because I can't imagine, it would be like Friday 13th. You get the game and you have to go, find people that are playing the game at a time, otherwise you can't play it. I feel like this would be the same. You couldn't sit there by yourself and play it. I mean, I might be wrong, and you might be able to switch between those others when you get up to it. But, I mean, there's not enough about it, really. It was only announced a day ago. So, more will come out on it, but I'm torn. It is going to be released on PS4 and Xbox One and PC as well. The Switch comes out early, and it's the 15th of November, so it's still a while down the track, and there's still enough to be released on it. But, I'm not too sure how I feel on it, to be honest. I think it could be a flop. In saying that, though, Nintendo are doing a whole bunch of really good games, and it might be good, but I just can't see the idea carrying over myself personally. So,
I know what you mean. Man.
All right, cool. Well, I'll throw it back your way, man.
All right, mate. No dramas at all. So, the latest from Todd Howard. He had an interview a couple of days ago, and he spoke a bit about some of his upcoming games, his most anticipated games in the near future, and that would of course be Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. So, as we all know, Bethesda will not announce anything to do with the Elder Scrolls at all at E3 this year or anything like that. So that's already been put to bed. So we don't know release dates. We don't know if it's going to be Elder Scrolls, elsewhere, Elder Scrolls, if it's going to be like in Skyrim again, is it going to be Elder Scrolls, High Rock, or anything like that? It's got. We don't know. We won't know this E3, unfortunately. But what Bethesda's come out and said is that because everyone wants the Elder Scrolls, but he's come out and said going to have to be patient because Starfield has made a massive priority. So he's come to say we've had done so many things that we were going Elder Scrolls Fallout, all that sort of stuff. So obviously they wanted to break things up. You have the Starfield game in your head, you sort of say, well, then it can be never, or you could say never, but look, we're creatives, and it's like we have to make this game, and in this time, so the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to have to wait a little bit, plus again, Elder Scrolls Online is doing so well, it's so vibrant, and this time, both of us, creativity and our audience. So basically, he has stated that one thing that they didn't get in Skyrim and Fallout 4 is the basically the interaction that you get with other Todd Howard couldn't stay interactive with people that were playing because the games went online, and you could talk to them in forums and all that sort of stuff, but when you're playing online, the developer can sort of see who's online, what's going on, how long people are online for, how long they're staying in, what they're actually doing and all that sort of stuff, and it works so quick, and that's where the Fallout 76 concept came in, because they wanted to make a Fallout game where it's online, so Bethesda can still have a strong part of the community with everyone, with all their players playing online. That if someone's online and they're doing something, Bethesda knows about it straight away, pretty much. So, and that's the direction that they are starting to go. And Fallout 76 was the first stepping stone in that direction, and that's basically what he's come out and said. So, basically, now people are saying, does that mean that with Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, and all that sort of, because Elder Scrolls Online isn't developed by Bethesda Studios. Bethesda Softworks just produced it. It's developed by a different company. So Bethesda has very little, believe it or not, to do with Elder Scrolls Online, but they still take revenue from it. So Fallout 76 is pretty much the first for Bethesda to go in this direction. So people come out and said, does that mean Starfield's going to be online? Does that mean Elder Scrolls 6 is going to also be online? All that sort of stuff. So there'll be obviously, and that wouldn't surprise me, Elder Scrolls 6 going online. That means Elder Scrolls Online would go offline, so Elder Scrolls 6 can go online. So all these little things. So Starfield's taken a priority. They want to get that out. That's rumored not to come out till 2022. Till 2021.
Okay, cool.
I think. Yeah, something like 2021. Actually, no, I don't know now. Was Starfield rumored to come out next year, and Elder Scrolls 6 2022 or something like that anyway. So we're still about 3 years or so away from having a couple of these great games to be released. There's nothing really much happening between now and Starfield, except for Doom Eternal, which is rumored to come out this year, and that's really much it. There's nothing really else. So in my opinion, hopefully Starfield does come out next year, because they'll need something between Doom Eternal and all that sort of stuff. So look, they really want to get Starfield out, because it's going to be the first game of its kind. It's going to be extremely unique. It's going to be completely off the board, off the chart with how a developer goes with their single player games. But it's rumored to be basically Skyrim and Fallout, but in space. So, and that's basically the direction they want to head, and they're quite anticipatedly excited about it.
Yeah.
So are we. I can't wait to see. I reckon it's going to be great. Outer Worlds is another good one that's going to be coming out this year, and a lot of people are saying that basically that's what Starfield's going to be like, but Starfield should be 100 times better. So he's also quoted, the kind of things that we are talking about are going to take a lot of people. Every BGS studio will probably be involved in Elder Scrolls 6, even Starfield right now. It's not really in Austin, but in Dallas and Montreal there's staff in Starfield as well. So there's a lot of people working on Starfield, right? Pretty much the whole entire company is on Starfield. It's a priority at the moment. So they're obviously trying to get it out as soon as possible. They want to make it as great as possible as well. So they know Doom Eternals this year. They'll need something next year. They'll need something late next year, because we know Elder Scrolls 6 is still another 3 years away, that's for sure, man. But speaking of Elder Scrolls 6, Todd Howard has also come out to say that Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off, but they are building it up to be at a full decade game. So basically, he's saying that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be single player, or whatever kind of game they're going to make, and it's going to be playable for 10 years. So yeah, so I mean, Skyrim came out on November 6, 2011. So that's 8 years ago this year. That's almost a decade as well, and that's still timeless in my opinion. That's still fun to play. There's a lot of mods. There's a massive mod community. It's probably notoriously known for having the biggest mod community out of any game ever. So you can literally play the vanilla mode of Skyrim, and then you complete it or do a big chunk of it, and then load a whole new game and get all these mods, and it's a completely different game altogether. You know what I mean? You can do alternate start mods, so you don't do the whole horse and carriage and the dragon comes in. You can start in a prison and you're whatever. There's extra content, DLCs that have been added and all this sort of stuff. So there's some mods with extra voicings and all this sort of stuff. So Skyrim's seamless, mate. That's still pretty good. That's still got a couple of years left in it. It's still a great game, and that's why I'm really excited for Elder Scrolls 6. So Todd Howard's quoted that he said they want a certain type of experience that is very it's what we've done is basically what he's saying. You can pick up this water bottle and you can do X, Y, Z to it. Things that we love. The gap between is so obviously going to be long. It already is. On one hand, I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's good to miss things. What? I think that makes people come out to it and really fresh eyes. What? And I think that's where they eventually see the game and what they have minded. They'll understand the gap more in terms of technology and what we want to do it. So basically, what he's saying is that the longer you wait for the game, the better it's going to be, because they have all these great ideas and they're going to do all these things to it. People are going to say, yeah, that's great. Some people are going to say, no, that's crap. But they are very anticipated for a great game. They guarantee it's going to be a great game, and they're just begging for our patience, which I'll be patient for. There's plenty of games coming out between now and then. As much as I want it yesterday, but there's plenty of games that'll come out and keep you entertained. But yeah, man, look, honestly, mate, that's exciting stuff. Sort of that Bethesda's in full steam, headed towards Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 now. That means Doom Eternal will be out of development. And all that sort of stuff. So I reckon the announcement of that release should be not long after E3, most likely. Yeah. It's all hands on deck for Starfield. Most likely. Hopefully that will come out. Of course, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 will be out this year, and that will keep people busy for a good couple of years as well. So things like that, mate. So I mean, as much as Todd Howard wouldn't want to hear it, it's all right, Todd. Chill out, mate. Take your time. We got Cyberpunk coming out, buddy. So we'll play a bit of that instead. So
I mean, when you look at timeless games as well, I mean, talking about they want to have one for a decade. I mean, look at Rockstar. I mean, with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption alone, like GTA 4, people were playing that for ages when they were anticipating 5. But man, people were modding the hell out of that thing for years upon years upon years. And then GTA 5 came out, and GTA 5 came out a good, 6 years ago or something now, was it? It's still just as fresh. They're adding stuff in almost what seems every month.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, mods you can do as well, where you can just play as fucking John Cena or something like that, and it's just the stuff you can do in that. And I remember before I even had my YouTube channel, I did some stuff where I modded the GTA PS3 version of the game, and I recorded some videos in that before Rockstar Editor was even something. So, and I've got to share some of that. I mean, I had literally Mario in a Mario Kart inside of Grand Theft Auto, driving around, like throwing grenades out, and I put all the Mario Kart 64 sound effects in and shit like that. And and that was even before the PC version of GTA came out. But they're timeless. Red Dead Redemption, the wait between Red Dead 1 and 2 was huge, but people were still entertained by Red Dead 1. When
big time.
And Skyrim followed that. Although I didn't play much of Skyrim, it was huge. I mean, talking about timeless games, Minecraft. There will never be a Minecraft 2.
No.
There just won't. It would just always be Minecraft. So, how long has that game been around? Timeless.
Yeah.
They're timeless, really.
Yeah.
But no. So, I don't blame them on holding back until they produce something they're insanely proud of. It's gonna last a while. because then all their time and efforts would go into other games that would come out sporadically, and they've got their one on the back burner that people will still be playing for years.
Of course,
it's a smart move.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing. There's a lot of games that are timeless and seamless, and you always have that nostalgia rush. I mean, I'm keen to do another playthrough of Skyrim. I mean, if I do another playthrough of Skyrim, it will be my 4th playthrough. So, and you got to devote like 120 hours, 150 hours from start to finish. So, so that's and I would still do that with Skyrim because it's such a great game, and I've modded my last playthrough. I heavily modded that quite a bit actually, and it was great when I modded it. At first I was like, nah, I don't want to mod it. I like traditional and all that sort of stuff. And then I did a couple of mods, and I was like, this actually looks really good. And then I did a couple more mods. I was like, this looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And a couple more mods, and I'm like, oh baby, what else can I do? And then I just went nuts, mate. I had about I think the most mods I had running at once. I think I had 27 mods running at one go. So, it was the mods were amazing. What you could do, it was a whole new game, and I thought this is brilliant. And it was just, I was turning Skyrim on every single day, and playing it for a couple of hours a day, just running around, just exploring. That was great, bits and pieces. It's just a great game. Still to this day, it's a great game.
Well,
so
I've never played it.
Yeah, so it's easy for me to say, mate, you got to play it, but you got to commit quite a bit of time to it. I can guarantee, once you get into it, the first couple of hours or so, once you get the first couple of hours past, you'll start getting a bit. You'll know what I mean. You'll get hooked on it.
Because the ones I've had Skyrim suggested to me quite a bit, as well as Fallout, Fallout 4, which I do have back here. I just never really played it. Those two were really suggested to me to play, but I just never got into them for reasons. I don't know, just haven't.
Yeah, man. No, that's the thing. Like I said to you the other day, I'm not into big, massive craft games. I just can't stand. I'm just not a big fan of grinding. Just that. Oh, I need to build a fence. I need wood. I need this. I need that. Okay, where do I find that? Is it here? Nope. Is it here? Nope. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got this. I got that. I got this. I got that. Oh, you are over encumbered. Oh, what do I drop? Okay, I'll drop this. 5 minutes later, fuck, I needed that. And then
it's like, okay, I'm going to build my fence now. I die and lose all the stuff I was holding. Cool. Let's start again.
You build only like 2/10 of your fence, and you got to go get all that sort of stuff again, and then go back, and then after about an hour, all you've done is build a fence. You haven't really done anything. So I mean, 7 Days to Die. It's a great game. It really is. I mean, I can't argue with it because it is actually a great game. Just
you've got to be committed to the haul. You've got to be committed to the grind.
I just can't get my head around crafting games. Minecraft is a great game. I just can't get my head into crafting games. A mate of mine, Jaden, love him to death. He's a great guy. He loves playing Ark. Him and my cousin Shano, they are the grind masters of the modern era. These guys can just mind-numbingly grind like no tomorrow. And I mean, I played Ark recently, and it's a good game. I respect Ark, and it is a great game. But the grinding is just completely nuts. And the only times I played Ark was on 2 modified servers, and the first time, just about everything was sped up, like double, and the last server I was on, everything was sped up 20 times. And what you would do on an original server, what would take you 3 hours to do, you could do in like 10 minutes, and what you would do in a whole day, you can do in about 2.5 hours. So, like in real time. So, and that made it a little bit better, but it was still that, now I've got to go get this.
See, exactly. I've been looking at Ark for a while. I mean, I was never really a crafting game guy. When I met my partner, she loved Minecraft. I couldn't stand it. But she finally talked me into playing it with her because she doesn't really play video games. So she finally talked me into it. And Minecraft to me was mind-numbingly boring. All I would do is just dig because it's weird. Like, I play with blocks all the time. I'm a retro guy. But playing that game for more than a couple of hours, my head is pounding. Like, it just... I'm just... not just I'm bored, but it's just...
Yeah, man.
No change of scenery.
Yeah, man. Your eyes want to render something that's not there. And so your brain's going, surely I can sharpen this image to make it look realistic. Like, that tree looks a bit blockish. I'm going to shapen it up to try and make it look like a real tree. And your brain's just going, it sounds like an old Atari printer.
Exactly
it's
right.
Not doing anything.
And
your brain fucking hurts after an hour.
So I was like, well, she likes crafting games. I like a ton of story-based games. She doesn't like story. So I went, well, let's go with a horror. So I found 7 Days to Die because of my love for horror and her love for crafting. So then there was a game we could both play together, and I've played upwards of 200 hours in 7 Days to Die, or even more, because I have the PS4 version before I got the PC one. And the grind when you start is fucking hard. I mean, in one world, we're 260 days in, and we haven't even got a base. You know, it's hard. But, you know, I play it a lot because, you know, it's something that she can join in with. And in saying that, still, I'm not a huge crafting guy. Although Raft isn't too bad as well. If you've ever played Raft, that's not too bad.
I've seen a lot of it, and that Raft does look a little bit more tolerable because, you know, that does look a lot more tolerable because it's so linear. It's neurologically manageable. You know what I mean? So I think I could relate to Raft a little bit more better. You know, the only hurdle I would get is that I need something, and I wouldn't know where to get it, or where to find it, and how to get it, and it's like something that's rare as fuck. Yeah, and you got to build something else to get it, and to build that something else, you don't have materials for that either. And that's when I just go fuck.
Yeah, Raft is a game that you couldn't play by yourself because you've got to find food, you've got to continuously feed yourself, have water. Your raft is being destroyed by a shark every now and again. At the same time, you've got to collect materials and build your raft out so you survive. If you're doing it by yourself, it's fucked. I mean, I've played a bit of Raft, and it gives you almost no insight to what the fuck you need to do. It literally just drops you in the ocean, and you've got to figure everything out for yourself. It is difficult. But sometimes I like that challenge. In saying that, you showed me The Forest. And although that's a crafting game, it doesn't feel as much of a crafting game because it's literally, it just feels more realistic than just craft and build this and that. You know, it's not about building a massive house and you know, protecting yourself from the, you know, it's different, but it's got a more of a storyline to it.
That I don't even really see that as a crafting game. I see that as a first-person adventure game where you just, you know, basically can collect materials to help you get a couple of things. It's not like you have to have, you know, in a lot of these crafting games, to develop in a direction, you need all these things going on. You need to have them all. This has to have that, and that has to have this, and this must do that, and that must do this, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Where, of course, The Forest, you can build a spear or not. You know, you can build one of these things or not.
The Forest is different as well because although it is kind of a crafting game, it actually has a story where no crafting games ever really have a story. It's just, it doesn't have an end. I love following a story because it gets me enticed. With normal crafting games, when it doesn't have a story, I feel like, well, when does it end? What's my goal? What am I setting myself to achieve here? Because I feel like I could build a cool base, I could build all that, but hey, it keeps on going. And what's your next goal? You feel like you've not accomplished anything. That's what I feel. Like Minecraft, God bless those people that build, like, you know, the entire Game of Thrones world and stuff. I mean, you've got to be committed, but I would just get bored as fuck. You know, to be honest, like, if I don't have an end goal, what am I working towards? You know?
Yeah, exactly it, mate. Exactly it.
All right, we've kind of gone off track a bit. I don't know how we ended up on crafting games, but
but that was my thing on Todd Howard, mate. That's my latest on Todd Howard. So yeah, man, back to you. What else have you got for us, buddy?
Okay, cool. GameStop's database lists more than 20 unannounced Switch titles ahead of E3. So they've got 21. So there's meant to be, there's been reported to have a number of major releases that will be announced for Nintendo Switch at this year's E3. 21 games. And that's according to GameStop. So GameStop, they're pretty reliable with this kind of information. They did say that underneath the Nintendo Switch stuff, the competition has planned PlayStation 4 supposedly have over 20 games to announce, and Xbox with slightly less than that. So Nintendo haven't let go of what some of these could be. Looking over at Nintendo's games that they have announced but with no release date, you could be looking at a Luigi's Mansion 3 could be on this list. There was mention, and you brought up, of a Star Fox game. So that could be on this list somewhere. We're still waiting for that open world Pokemon game, not following, Sword and Shield, because we know that's coming, but we want something a bit bigger. They have also announced another Detective Pikachu game as well, following the success of the movie. So we got that. So we got some stuff that could be on this list, ranging from prices of $39.99 all the way up to $199. So $199 will have to be something huge. But they've got the $49.59, $89. So there's some spots for some real serious announcements from Nintendo's point of view, because we've heard what PlayStation and Xbox are doing, but we don't really hear much from Nintendo at E3. They've kind of flown under the radar a bit. So hoping for a Star Fox game, that would be great.
Man.
I'll cover off on my next thing because it kind of double backs onto this one. And that is Banjo Kazooie. Nintendo have released new, fresh merch of Banjo Kazooie. So, is Banjo Kazooie going to be one of those updates on a possible game? Because of the Nintendo store coming out with a bunch of new Banjo Kazooie stuff. Although they are saying it could be speculation that there's 4 more fighters that are going to be added into the last DLC for Smash Bros. Ultimate. It might be because Banjo and Kazooie are going to be added into that, so that could be why the new merch is out. In saying that, Switch could also possibly be doing the same as what they did with the franchises such as Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and Sonic with the the Insane Trilogy or the Spyro Trilogy. Switch might do something similar like that for Banjo Kazooie as a downloadable, so you can play through Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie and Banjo Fresh Steak and Kidney Pie, or however many they say it. That could be a real possibility as well. So Banjo Kazooie does have new merch coming. What they do with him is another story. He's flown under the radar for so long, and the games were damn good. I've actually started playing Banjo Kazooie now. It's a game that I didn't do, and I've actually started playing it for the past couple of weeks on and off. And I'm enjoying it, but it feels to me like that is a character Nintendo has that they've not done anything with, so why not bring it back? Nintendo have brought out a ton of good games, and why not bring them out? I think they might announce a new Metroid as well, to be fair. I think that's on the list of Nintendo games that they've announced, but with no release date. So, could we see a Banjo Kazooie remaster or a new game? So, who knows? But 21 games, 21 games set to be announced at E3 for Nintendo Switch. So it should be cool to see what they come up with. And maybe talks of a new Legend of Zelda. I mean, we've obviously got what they did with Pokemon Let's Go. They're doing with A Link to the Past for Zelda's title, but maybe they're coming up with a Zelda game too soon to Breath of the Wild, but that came out 2 years ago now, so why not make an announcement for a new one? It's probably been in the works for a while because that game was so successful. But, we don't know what could possibly coming. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any more Mario releases. They've obviously got Mario Tennis, Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey. So I don't see there being another Odyssey 2 or another mainstream Mario game. It would surprise me if they did. So let's see what they come up with this one. I mean, yeah, lean on Luigi's Mansion maybe for a Mario release. But 21 games to be announced, and E3 is right around the corner, breathing on the doorsteps. So
breathing, kicking it, knocking it, and and telling it it's your mum and stuff. It's right there.
It's about a week away, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, it's about that. About a week away. It's next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. So, something like that anyway.
So
yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Someone's tired today.
Oh, mate, I'm knackered. I'm alright, but no, mate, I am knackered. Didn't sleep at all last night, which I'll give reasons why off air. But yes, just one of those nights where I just wasn't sleeping. But yeah, man, should I go on my fourth and final topic?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So, of course, speaking again of E3, we've mentioned E3 about 10,000 billion times tonight and 10,000 billion times every other night the last few weeks with our podcast. But there's going to basically more updates on what to expect and what not to expect at E3. So, what not to expect is Rocksteady. So, the developers of the Batman Arkham series, which is a great series, in my opinion. Big fan of the Arkham series. They won't be at this year's E3, therefore they will have nothing to announce. And they said, sorry, maybe next E3. So, yeah, fair enough. They got nothing to show, nothing to announce. Disappointing, but if they're not in, they are in development of a new game, but it's just not ready yet, and it's nowhere near in the stage for them to announce. So, which happens very soon, is expected to feature a lot of big announcements. One of the said big announcements, Watch Dogs Legion, which I'm about to mention, has leaked and been subsequently, very subsequent. But among things you can count on not seeing the big expo in the next game for the Batman Arkham series. Studio Rocksteady Games game director co-founder Sefton Hill wrote on Twitter that the studio won't be showing E3 this year. We'll be watching as fans, but remaining in London, hard at work on our next big project. So of course, no announcements from Rocksteady, which is usually part of the Arkham series, which are great games, but they're not going to be there this year. And of course, on that as well, another what's been breaking is literally breaking over the last few hours is the official announcement that will be officially announced again at E3 is Watch Dogs 3, which will be known as Watch Dogs Legion, which will be set in post-Brexit London, which is really, really cool. So it'll be set in a post-Brexit in London. So not entirely sure what that actually means, but Watch Dogs 3 is confirmed. It will be revealed at E3 of obviously release date. So the next installment of Watch Dogs, which will be called Watch Dogs Legion, if a new listing on Amazon is accurate, captured by Twitter user Wario64. The listing actually contains some revealing details, and it's set in a post-Brexit dystopian London. And is not only that, all NPCs will be playable. Okay, that's interesting. Watch Dogs Legion is set in a near future dystopian version of London. The description reads, it's a post-Brexit world in which society, politics and technology have changed and altered London's fortunes. London is one of the most iconic cities in the world and had a massive influence on all the Western cultures for centuries.
My hometown.
Yeah, man, exactly. That's where you're borny. You are their local homie.
I'm a hoodlum. I'm a London hoodlum.
Yeah. London makes a total sense of for WD, as the city has one of the highest surveillance SIC levels in the world, making this a perfect playground. So that's pretty interesting. So Elsewhere's listing informs that you can play as anyone. Okay. Every individual you meet in the open world is set full of animations, voice over character traits, and visuals that are generated guided by gameplay systems. So that's very interesting. Maybe it's to do with technology where you can go around and you can literally beat anyone at any time to help you get away. Maybe you aren't human at all. Maybe you are like a cyborg that's got a radio signal and you go into people's, I don't know, networks or something and you play as people. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe everyone's cyborgs. Who knows? But it sounds very, very intriguing and very, very interesting. Played the first Watch Dogs, didn't play the second one. Couldn't get into the first Watch Dogs all that much, but when I looked at it, I wasn't really in the right headspace to be playing games at that time. I had a lot going on at that time when I was playing Watch Dogs, and I ended up buying Destiny, and Destiny ended up taking over my life for a few weeks. So, well, a good couple of months actually. So, which is quite funny actually. So, I loved Destiny when it came out, but yeah, that's quite an intriguing thing on Watch Dogs 3. So that'll be announced at E3, and of course, more E3 news. The final bit of E3 news is that apparently Microsoft is going to be bringing something big to E3. The rumor, of course, is that they will announce their new Xbox. It will be the Xbox Scarlett. Or Scarlet, I don't know, whatever you want to pronounce it. So a tweet has confirmed that Microsoft is currently getting ready for its E3 2019 press conference, and they will announce, we're inviting something new to Xbox E3 this year. Of course, E3 presentations are often full of new announcements, but this one was conspicuous. This something seems bigger than most E3 surprises, and the mention of an invitation could imply it's bringing on something from outside its own company. So, what could it mean? The curious wording could hint. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, something big. Yeah, thanks, mate. In which case, it might be the teasing reveal of its next-gen Xbox Scarlett. While that isn't expected to launch until next year, at the earliest, Sony has already been talking a great deal about its still unnamed PS5. So, Microsoft may want to follow suit and outline its vision for the next generation hardware. So, they're gonna, are they going to announce xCloud streaming service, expanding Xbox service to other platforms, Xbox Game Pass on PC, and all that sort of stuff? So I've got to sneeze again. Jesus fuck!
Bless you. Again.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I know. Multi-sneeze. So apparently Microsoft is going to be huge this E3. Me not being a big Xbox fan, I've never been a big fan of their exclusives or anything like that. But as a gamer, I'm still intrigued to see what they have to say and what they're going to do and all that sort of stuff. So that is definitely another one I'll be keeping an eye out on E3. And I cannot wait to get E3 out of the way, because our first podcast after E3, it's going to be literally all E3, mate. So next Thursday, it's going to be nothing but E3, I reckon. So, I think we'll just call it the E3 special next week. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, may as well. May as well. Screw everything else. It's the E3 special next podcast. We've officially announced it. I'm sure you're excited. It's going to be hard to keep it under an hour, because I guess we might not have topics, so to speak. I think it's going to be more or less of what you got from it that was good and what you got from it was bad. It's going to be more of a discussion, I think, next week.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk a bit more off here, but maybe I'm leaning towards our, just general wrap of what we saw with E3 and our 5 favourite things, or our 5 anticipated things, or our 5 best things to come out of E3, and our 5 worst things that we think that have come out of E3. So I reckon that'd be a good little thing to start with. We'll talk a bit more of that off here, mate, but something like that would be good. But yeah, man, that is my 4th and final topic. All I've got is my honourable mentions and do you feel old yet? Anything else you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, I've got a few honourable mentions of things I'll say for the Nintendo world. No other topics, but do you want me to start off my honourable mentions?
Do it. Let's do it.
All
I'm
right.
not feeling very honourable, but do it.
Okay, just on a side note, Hyperkins, they're a console and accessories maker. Well, they've revealed the next entry in their long-running line of clone systems, which is a Nintendo 64 clone. So that'll be a little mini. Not an official N64 mini, but they've designed one, so that's pretty cool. This week, unseen footage of an Earthbound 64 emerges online. So they never made any past the SNES, so we thought, but that's not necessarily the case. Also, talking about things that Conker's Bad Fur Day, you probably heard of Conker. He actually had a cancelled sequel on the N64, and there's new details about that they might be releasing on the Switch, but it's up in arms at the moment whether or not that's the case. As well as Star Wars Rogue Squadron, classic game that you've mentioned a few times. Yes, it gets a stunning makeover in Unreal Engine 4 as well. So yeah, I've got to get around to filming a video of Pod Racer and stuff, and I might check out Rogue Squadron now to see anything else as well. So also on an honourable mention, Rocket League on my list of things. It's good to see that the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 is becoming a DLC car. Hell yeah! That's my movie car along with the DeLorean that I would love to step foot in. So it's good to see that the Ecto is coming to Rocket League.
Yeah, man. Yes. Well, I tell you what, let's quickly handball the ball back over this way, because in my honourable mentions, believe it or not, that was one of mine as well. That's all right, mate. That's all right. It's not like you didn't know that was my speciality, but whatever. That's all right.
I was excited for Ghostbusters. I was like, hell yeah.
Mate, yeah, that's all right. I'm glad you mentioned it, mate, because I'm going to get a little bit more depth into it. So, of course, Rocket League, their latest update patch where it's all about materialistics and all that sort of stuff. So they every 4 times a year they release a patch where it's themed around seasons. So summer patch, autumn patch, spring patch, and all that sort of stuff. And they have materialistic items that sort of complement those seasons, and whether it's new battle cars, wheels, decals, boosts and all that sort of stuff. So they've gone with a real 80s style summer theme this time around, which is really, really cool. So of course, and there's over the next couple of weeks they'll be releasing awesome content from the Hell Blockbuster Retro Gaming and like movie days as well. So basically it begins on June 10th, so in a couple of days, and it's just great. It's going to be a good nostalgia trip. It's going to make you want to watch some old movies again, depending on how old you are. So first up from June 10 to July 1st, 80s Blockbuster, which will feature the Ghostbusters Ecto number 1 car pack with its Ecto number one car battle car, Ecto 1 wheels, Proton Pack booster, Slimer Topper, and Ghostbusters player banner and avatar, and the Stay Puffed goal explosion for $2, all that sort of stuff. So I'm assuming to do with the Marshmallow Man and all that sort of stuff. So
Ghostbusters fan here. Hey, when you're younger and like when you're born, you normally have like a teddy from when you were born.
Yep.
I had a fucking Slimer pillow as my very first thing I ever had. I was going to the shop as a baby, and I just keep grabbing it off the shelf. And yeah, I still have him in the room. He's I still fucking got him. He sits behind me when I play games and that. But yeah, everyone has a bear. I had a fucking green ghost as my first ever thing I owned.
Yeah, man. I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters as well. It's great. It definitely is, man. It will also feature the event's first limited time game mode, appropriately called Ghost Hunt. So basically, it will say in detail what it is, but I saw a quick clip of it, and being a Rocket League player, I got my head around it very quickly. It basically is a 3v3 contest in which the players use proton streams, don't cross them, to catch the ball and to deposit into an opponent's team's containment zone. The Blockbuster segment will also feature other big summer flicks from the day, including Back to the Future, E.T. and Goonies and Karate Kid, which is really cool. So basically, and they do this every now and then, they release new game modes. So you've got standard game modes where you've got 1v1, 2v2 and 3v3. And you can also do casual as well. There's a mode called Chaos where it's 4v4, but no one fucking plays that. It's almost like non-existent. Then you've got extra modes, which I think I mentioned before. You've got drop shot, you've got hoops, you've got snow day, and you've got Jesus Christ, got a fucking mental blank. Drop shot, hoops, snow day, and rumble. So rumble is basically like the normal version of Rocket League, but you get power ups, and you could have they refresh every 10 seconds once you use it. So you could have a boot where the boot is designed to kick another vehicle, your opponent's vehicle out of, your teammate, not your teammate, your opponent's one of their vehicles. You got a punch, you got like a fist, and that makes you more powerful, but that's only for the ball, and you can explode very easily, demolition the opponents as well. But if you just tap the ball goes flying. So you got spikes where it makes the ball stick to you. You got tornadoes, which makes everything go into chaos. You know, you got a tornado going, you go near your opponents, they go flying in the air and all that sort of stuff. You can freeze the ball. There's a plunger where you can attach a plunger to the ball, and then you can literally drag the ball across the map into the goal. You've got a harpoon where you can harpoon the ball, and you get flying up to the ball to hit it, sort of thing. You even got a magnet, which sort of makes the car sort of stick to you as well, a bit like the spikes. But it's not very good. It's sort of between the spikes and the plunger, but it's not very good. So, and I think I did mention you can freeze the ball as well. So, the freezing and the magnet are probably the most useless ones, and a punch glove as well, where you can actually punch the ball. So, I did mention a fist where you have to hit your car into the ball and the ball goes flying, but you've actually got one of those, those iconic gloves on the end of like a extending, like one of those crisscross extending things. Yeah. That old classic bloody punch glove thing. Yeah, it's one of those, and it's very accurate as well. So you've got those. So basically, that's called Rumble. And then, of course, you've got Drop Shot and Hoops and all that sort of stuff, which I won't go into. But basically, Rumble is power-ups. They've even got a game mode where it's going to be called New Spike Rush, because a lot of people say that the spikes are the best power-up in the game. So they're going to do literally a new mode called Spike Rush where it's just spikes. So, which sounds pretty cool. But this new Ghostbusters one is basically you're going to have the magnet. It's kind of like the magnet, but it's sort of not. But all three of your teammates have to be in contact with the ball, and you all have to carry it to the other side of the field, where there'll be like a containment zone, which is kind of like the goal. And you've got to drop the ball in there, and it's got to stay in there for like a handful of seconds, and you've got to try and do it so the other team can't, get the ball as well, sort of thing. So just like in Ghostbusters, where they capture the ghost and they put them in the trap,
yeah.
Put them in the trap, and they've got to hold it in there and all that sort of stuff. So, and they use power-ups for that. So that's definitely really cool. So they'll be coming out, over the next couple of weeks as well. So that's a really cool honourable mention. Which is very exciting. So I'm glad to hear that you're excited about the Ghostbusters car.
So with the Rocket League stuff, is that only available between that time, or if you get it, you can play it any time?
No, sorry, man. So this feature, from June 10 to July 1, basically to be honest, the new mode, I think this might be temporary. So
the car you can keep, but the mode is temporary.
Oh yeah, that's right. The car you can keep once you get the DLC of the car and you pay for it or whatever. You keep all the materialistic items. You keep them all. They never get taken away from you. Excuse me. But the mode, thanks mate. But the mode will only stick around for a couple of weeks, just to trial it and see how it goes, because it's nothing really. It's nothing really sort of, standard related. So, Drop Shot and all that, they're all fun. But I think they'll just try it to see how it goes. I think it's because it's just so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so novelty. It's just not something that would sort of fit in Rocket League's criteria. It's just temporarily fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm surprised because honestly, let me put it this way: on a busy night, you'll see about 150,000 people playing Rocket League, right? And in a standard 3v3, you'll probably get about, depending on your playlist and your playing and like what rank you are, you usually see about 13,000 people in threes. You'll see about 20,000 people in twos, and blah 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 and all this sort of stuff. And you see bugger all people. You see bugger all in the extra modes. You'll get maybe 3,000 for all 4 extra modes.
I suppose that's what these kind of things are for, and these this game mode is available for a month kind of thing. It's just kind of tease people to do the extra modes so they're not forgotten about.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I'm surprised a couple of the extra modes are still there. So Drop Shot's not very popular, and neither is Snow Day. Snow Day was the first. Snow Day was the first extra game mode that was introduced within probably the first year of Rocket League being released. and hardly anyone ever plays it. And then they brought in Hoops, and then they brought in Rumble, and then they brought in Drop Shot, and probably the most popular one is Rumble. But it's just the extra modes just don't really take off. So I'm not surprised that this isn't sticking around for very long.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it just doesn't really. I mean, the other modes, they just don't really fit with Rocket League's criteria. They're literally just for fun.
Yeah.
It's just like having a break from the standard mode, and people jump into that fun mode just for the hell of it. No one really cares about it.
Is there a way of still getting the car though if you don't get the DLC in that time?
No, you'll have to. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for it during that time, and then own it. Yeah,
because I know the PS4, it's got you can get the gold edition of Rocket League, which comes with a ton of all the DLCs up until that time.
Yeah, you can still. I mean, you can still get the. I'm pretty sure you can still get the Jurassic Park, Jeep, and all that sort of stuff. You know, I mean, there's a lot of cars, materialistic cars like the Batman. You know, both
Batmobile.
Yeah, both Batmobiles are in there.
Knight Rider.
The
General.
The 99. The new Knight Rider's in there. The
DeLorean.
1999. Yeah, the DeLorean's still in there from Back to the Future. The 1999 GT from Fast and Furious is still in there. So I'd say the car probably would stick around for a while. I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't. I mean, payable DLCs do stick around because that's how they make their money. So I'd say it would stick around for a while. And it'd be a good far. It'd be good fun car to play around. I mean, for someone like me, I'm not really interested in getting the materialistic cars because of the hitboxes. You know, because cars have different kinds of hitboxes, and that actually can really sort of like analyse how you play your game. So I've been playing as an Octane for a while, and I'm just so used to Octane's hitbox. When I play a different car, I have to change my play style. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, for me, if I was going to start playing, I'd be like, Ecto 1, let's go.
Mate, that's the beautiful thing about when you first start playing Rocket League. You just don't care. And I forget. I mean, I still see some people playing Rocket League like they've only just started playing it. Like literally, they're only like 10 hours in, 20 hours in, and the amount of fun that they're having, playing it. They're going for the ball. They're really slow, and the ball's coming down. They're looking at it, and they miss it by a mile because they think they're like right next to it, and they're not. And it's so funny, and they're like it's so fun to watch, and they're having such a great time. And then when you're watching them, you realise that they're playing against bots. And the bots are on easy, and they're struggling against these bots, and these bots are just making them look silly, but they're having the time of their life, and they're playing with all these vehicles. They've got all these toppers on them. They've got all these fancy wheels on them. They made their cars look really stupid. They put wigs on them and all that sort of stuff. And at my level, because I've been playing it for so long, and because I'm so serious about it, you just don't care about those things anymore. So I still play Rocket League because it's fun for me, and I love Rocket League to death, and it's my main game. But that fun part of Rocket League, if you know what I mean, Rocket League is fun for me, but it's a serious fun where when you first start playing it, it's a giggly fun, it's a exciting fun, it's a different kind of fun altogether. So that's the beautiful thing, and that's one thing I envy about people like yourself. If you were to start playing Rocket League tomorrow, how much fun you'll have playing Rocket League. You just won't believe how fun it is. And you won't care what car you drive. You won't care what your car looks like. In fact, you'll try and make it as silly as possible, and all that sort of stuff. And you just have such a great time with that. With me, that's sort of long gone. That's sort of gone numb for me because I've been playing it for so long. But yeah, man, mate. As always, I strongly recommend you get it. Strongly recommend you start playing it. It'd be a lot of fun, and that would give me incentive to get a Smurf account, and then I'd start playing with you. But I'll have to be really careful not to play too well. So
yeah. No, I'm highly considering it, man. I'm highly considering Rocket League.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, yeah, man, definitely for sure. And of course, my second honourable mention. This is quite sad as well, in its own little way. Gearbox, the developers of Borderlands 3. Basically, there's a big fan, a guy who's a big fan of Borderlands series. He's terminally ill with cancer. He's probably not going to make the development, the release date of the release date of Borderlands 3. So the developers Gearbox have actually decided to name a gun after him. So 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 Trevor Eastman asked for an opportunity to play Borderlands 3 ahead of release and got more than what he expected. Last month, 26-year-old Trevor Eastman posted a message on Borderlands subreddit describing the bad hand he's been dealt. He's been diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal stomach and liver cancer. Ooh. In June 2018. Very sad. And given 1 year to live, so he's about to go. Been unfortunate. I've been a huge fan of Borderlands for a long time now, and I don't know if I'll live to see Borderlands 3. If there's any possible way that someone could find a way for me to be able to play it early, I would be forever grateful. And of course, that's very sad. Request was shared widely by Borderlands fans, and 2K and Gearbox ultimately came through. Eastman said in a message posted a couple of weeks ago that they're flying someone out at the beginning of June, most likely to give me a copy of the game, and followed up over this past weekend with the photo of the Gearbox reps, Borderlands 3 loading screen, and various pieces of Borderlands Gearbox swag. But Gearbox went up one step further by letting Eastman name one of the new weapons in Borderlands 3 and write its description. The comprehensive Trevornator, is what it's called, is a unique legendary shotgun with 28% weapon charge boost and 75% splash damage radius, and that can switch between cryo and fire elemental damage. The descriptive text isn't exact poetry. Trevor's gonna get ya! But Esther Eastman doesn't seem to mind. Honestly, I was just trying to be funny, and it just came out cheesy. So he says, I'm seriously happy. With the Eastman. What's that?
You should have gone with just the Eastman.
That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? The Eastman. The Clint Eastman. I'm seriously so happy and astonished of how kind they've been to me, and it really means the world to me. And they did this for me. I wish I could pay them back for everything they've done, and all of you as well for making this dream come true. So yeah, man, it's scheduled to come out September 13. He's ready to sort of, push up daisies this month, really. So poor guy, very sad. I couldn't imagine being in the situation he's in and still have a smile on his face and still try and be funny. But it's just very, very sad news, but also good old, good
on him, though. Good on him.
Good old Gearbox. They get my NASD thumbs ups for today. That's definitely my topic of the day for that one. So, but yeah, mate, those are my honourable mentions. Done and dusted, buddy. What else have you got, mate, before we wrap up?
I've got just what happened today in video gaming. So, I've got what happened today. Two things that happened on the 6th of June. First of all, we take a step back to 1984.
Oh, no.
Is that what you've got?
Oh, we're about to find out.
Alright, I'll do my other one and I'll let you go with that one. I'll go back. I'll go forward 9 years to 1993.
Right. To 1990 what?
1993.
Ooh.
Game Boy.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening was released, which is what they're releasing on the Switch now in a nice 3D overworld remake. So, yeah, 1993. I was 4 years old. So, 26 years ago? 26 years ago. It's hard to imagine that game is 26 years ago, actually. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing, dude.
Alright, I'll let you go to 1984.
So, do you feel old yet? The year I was born, 1984. You weren't even born yet.
No.
And of course, it was the release of the most notorious game that we all know and love of today, where for some weird reason you try and turn these randomly shaped object blocks to try and piece them together like a puzzle. So they all disappear in one line at a time, or two lines at a time, or even four lines at a time. And of course, Tetris was released 35 years ago today.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yep. Nuts. And how far has gaming gone when you look at that? It's just amazing.
It is, isn't it, really? It's insane how far it's come.
It's just, and the gaming that we know of today is literally just the tip of the iceberg of just gaming in general. I mean, the amount of games that have come out in the last, 35 years, I mean, we're going to go our whole lives only playing. If you think about it, it's scary. We're going to go our whole lives only probably playing something like 2% of games ever released. You know what I mean?
Oh, so probably less then.
Well, yeah. To
be fair. I've got to give you. I mean, I know you don't watch much TV, but I've got a mini series called Rise of the Video Game. It'll be an interesting watch for you, man, because it goes from how Pong was created up until bloody Minecraft. You know what I mean? It's like it's really cool to see the computers that they had that Pong was made on. It's fucking huge just to play Pong, yeah, with like, the little scroller.
Like the size of NASA or something like that.
Yeah, and it's just got the little dial knobs that you go up and down on. It's crazy. But I should give you that to watch, man. It gives you a real in-depth look on where it all came from.
Man.
It goes through the creation of Tetris. It's wicked.
Yeah, man.
Man, I feel old. I wasn't born.
Games were getting made when we weren't even alive, man. How dare they?
I know. All these games. I do have my original Tetris Game Boy game, though. I still have that. So, yeah. It's just that it's really weird because I don't like using emulators to record on my channel with, but there's some Game Boy games I wish I actually played. So you have to emulate them. So obviously, if you're going to play any of the classic Pokemon ones, you can't record without an emulator. So, but Tetris is something I've actually been thinking of playing for a very long time. But the old one, I might go and buy the NES cartridge or something on the weekend and record it. See what happens. Oh, it's class, hey. That's the outro music now. Done.
Is it?
I'll get you to sing us out.
Alright, buddy. So have you got anything else to mention before we wrap up?
No, dude. Just looking forward to E3. See what comes out of it. Crossing my fingers for a Star Fox game.
Yeah, 3-4 months ago. So, alright, everybody, you are all up to date on the latest PC, console, and gaming and retro news and Nintendo. And I've said it all wrong again. But that doesn't really matter. But look, you all got the gist. You are all up to date, as I mentioned before. And of course, as always, I will leave a link in the description to check out Jason616, his channel, and his version of the podcast as well. And of course, Jace,
same goes. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can check out NASG gameplays. Cheers out.
Cheers.
Yeah, so you can check him out. Great content. The Rocket League master. I don't know if you knew it. It was really weird then because as you were calling my names, I was like looking at my camera and like flexing my muscles, realizing I'm not even recording video. So I don't even know why I was doing that.
Yeah,
sitting in my seat like Hulk Hogan, just like flexing up what little muscles I do have. And I'm sitting there thinking, dickhead.
Idiot. Well, I don't know what's made it worse. The fact that you told people that you did that when if you said nothing, no one would have known.
I regret both things now.
Yes. Yes. I regret nothing. But yeah, cool. All right. So we are done. We are done for another week. Next week, of course, will be a E3 special on our podcast. And of course, we are also thinking of soon releasing our favourite comments of the week, aren't we, Jace? We're thinking about going down that path, aren't we?
We are indeed, and oh god, mine's going to be some serious language.
So yeah, so of course you don't have to. It just doesn't have to be comments on our podcast. It could be comments on any of our videos within that week between the podcasts, and we'll read out 2 or 3 or so of our favourite comments. And basically we'll go from there. So if you want to mention, you want to shout out on the podcast, let us know. Comment down below, and so on and so forth. And guys,
hey, even if there's any questions they might want to ask us for us to announce on the podcast, go for it. Comment down below.
Yeah, anything gaming related, anything, to do with, why is the sky blue? Why did my mum leave me when I was 4 years old?
We can give advice. We're good at giving advice on anything. If you want to know, why German Shepherds are German, I mean, we could give you the answer.
For starters, they're fucking Alsatians.
There you go. That's my favourite quote for next week. Why German Shepherds are German.
Yes. It's yeah.
Oh,
I've got one. I got one.
All right.
You ready? All right.
Yeah.
Ready? All right. Okay. So, you know how when Chinese people, Japanese people come over to an English-speaking world and they have Chinese accents and Japanese accents, right?
Yeah.
Do we have an Australian accent when we go to China or Japan and speak Japanese?
We would, wouldn't we?
Do we?
We have an English accent.
How do we? You ask a Chinese person, do you think you have an accent when you talk to us? And they'll be like, but I'm talking English. And you'll be like, do they even know they have an accent? You ask them, they don't know. Will we ever know if we have an accent? I'll be like, do we sound funny to you?
That's a good point.
Does our Japanese sound funny? Do we have an accent? They'll be like, well, yeah. Well, what's it sound like? They'll be like, I don't know. So we'll never know what our accent actually sounds like. Will we?
I know.
So we're in this constant cosmetic loop of one hand clapping, tree falling down the forest with no one around to hear it.
It's funny you say that because my family in the UK say I sound Australian, but in Australia people say I sound British. What am I?
What am I? Yeah.
What is my language I speak? What is my accent I speak?
A lot of people are like that with my old man as well. I mean, my old man sounds like an Aussie to me, but a lot of people talk to my old man and they go, Where's your dad from? I was like, I was from Scotland. Oh yeah, I thought I could hear a bit of a Scottish accent there. I was like, what? I can't even hear it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, when you hear my mum talk, she's a real Londoner. You can tell. She has not lost her accent at all.
Yeah, no.
We better wrap this thing up anyway.
We better wrap this up. As of course, guys, we shall see you all in the next NASG gameplays, Jason616, and of course the infamous JayNAS Podcast next week. Bye.
See ya.